Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly review Murdered Soul Suspect. This is a game that you can find on Steam for about 20 bucks, though it typically is on sale for a lot less than that. I've seen it on sale for $2, $3, $4 on a regular basis, and the reason for that is this game is fairly old. It was released back in 2014, and this is, I think, Idalee's probably one of her favorite games. She gifted me a copy of this game, really wanting me to play it. So I buckled down and spent a few hours playing it, and I'm here today to sort of tell you what I think and why I think you should get it. So, what is Murdered Soul Suspect? Well, you take on the role of this, well, I don't want to say corrupt cop, but you've had a very shady past, and in the beginning of the game, you die. And your soul, your ghost form, whatever, has to go around trying to figure out what happened. Your ultimate goal is to cross this bridge, quote-unquote bridge. You're kind of stuck in this purgatory where you're in the real world, but in order to move on to the next place, you know, whatever's out there, to join the love of your life, you have to figure out what's happened to you. Or at least figure out what's holding you back. And that's what you're trying to do. You're going to be investigating a number of different cases, side quests, that kind of thing. But ultimately, you're trying to cross over. So, what do you do in this game? Well, primarily, you go from environment to environment, just finding various collectibles and collecting clues that you need in order to solve particular mysteries. Again, there's like a main quest that you have to solve, but you'll come across these side quests. For example, I found this woman, I went into this building and I found this woman just sort of huddled over in this room. And yes, you can pass through rooms like a ghost can, which is really disconcerting. It's different. I typically get lost very easily, so anyway. I found this woman just sort of huddled in this little dark corner, and she's like, I don't know what happened to me. Well, she's a ghost. I don't know what happened to me. I died, but I don't know where my body is. Can you help me? You're a detective. And I'm like, okay, sure. So I'm going around trying to now figure out what happened to her. And part of the investigation process is not only are you trying to find collectibles in the environment, but you can actually possess people. You can actually enter their body, you can read their mind, you can influence them in different ways. But ultimately, your task is collect all of the clues that you need in order to solve the mystery. And when it comes time to complete your investigation, you'll be presented with maybe, you know, a series of questions, or you'll be asked to put clues in a particular order to sort of, I don't know, just to reflect the current order of events. So you'll be doing that, and whether or not you pick the right responses will determine whether or not you get 1, 2, or 3 shields. Now, as far as I can tell, the shields don't have any bearing. Like, the rating system doesn't seem to really do anything other than maybe for achievement purposes, but I haven't really seen any effect on gameplay. Like, I was just randomly picking clues as I found them, not knowing what I was fully doing yet. I'm like, well, am I supposed to click this? Am I supposed to click this? I went over to this guy here. Because I found this clue, I was now able to interact with this person and pick this clue in the hopes that they would link the two together. Oh, it didn't work. Let me go back to the scene. Let me find this clue or pick up this thing or whatever. Now that unlocks a new clue. Let me go back to that guy. Let me try this new clue on this guy and see if that connects at all. Oh, it does. Okay, so now I found another missing piece to the puzzle. So you're going to be doing that, going around the environment, finding clues, possessing people, and ultimately putting things together. And again, typically it's you've got, like, say, 8 clues that you have to find for this case, or 7 clues that you have to find for this issue. And then you, again, have to sort of complete the puzzle, as it were. And if you do things in the right order, or don't misclick and connect the wrong things, you'll get 3 shields. Again, as far as I can tell, though, that really has no bearing on gameplay. Aside from that, there is this stealth assassin thing going on like you would expect in like Metal Gear, although it has to do with demons. So these demons will pop up from time to time, and if you hold in the F key, you have this X-ray vision. You can see them patrolling. It's a very easy mini game. You watch them patrol, you wait till their back is turned, you go up to them, and then you hold in R to attempt to exorcise them. And while you're holding in R, you also have to hit like A and right click, or S and right click, or a combination of keys. And if you do that, you exorcise it. So there is like a little stealthy mini game involved when it comes to exorcising demons. So I have not come across any other enemy type in this game other than stealthing. Now, keep in mind, I'm only about 2 or 3 hours in. From my understanding, the game is possibly 8 to 10 plus hours long. So there may be some other enemy types there, but for the most part, it seems like the demons are the primary issue that you'll have to deal with on occasion. But yeah, what did I think? Well, I'm really into the story. I like the acting and the characters. The graphics are very well done. I love when I'm walking through walls. I'm in this apartment, and I'm walking through walls, and bam, there's 3 people sitting at a poker table just chatting. Bam, I walk into another room, there's a couple sleeping. Bam, I walk into another room, there's a ghost that I can talk to, haunting this younger girl. And, you know, there's a little side thing there. So, yeah, you'll be finding all sorts of things. And again, there's collectibles all over the place. So if you're one of those people that like seek and finds, you may enjoy this because there's a lot to look around and a lot to find here. This is a game that, if I were to compare it to any other that I've played, it has to be like, if you've ever played The Walking Dead, Telltale's The Walking Dead, that is, where, you know, it's sort of a linear-based story, and, you know, you can sort of, you know, sometimes you'll be presented with choices as far as what to say. There's a little bit of that. There's, you know, an arena-esque map where you'll have to just investigate it thoroughly and try and get as much as you can out of it. Again, typical of The Walking Dead, but it's also, again, got that stealthy minigame thing going on, which reminds me a little bit of, you know, any sort of stealth game like Metal Gear. So, yeah, if I were to compare it to anything, it would be more of like a Walking Dead, Telltale kind of thing. As far as I can tell, though, like, choices don't matter. Again, it just seems like the game doesn't penalize you. Like, there's another detective game I played called L.A. Noire, where you actually, you know, your choices did matter in what responses you chose when talking to people or trying to solve cases. It did matter. In this game, it doesn't really seem to matter. You can keep misclicking all you want, tying the wrong clues together all you want. Once you finally click the right things, you can progress. Yeah, 1 shield, who cares? As far as I can tell, it does nothing. Maybe it's an achievement hunter kind of thing. Maybe there are achievements out there that relate to it, but I don't care about such things. So there's that. But if you like the idea of a really cool story, if you like the idea of discovery, if you like the idea of a seek and find, if you like the idea of you know, puzzling things together without the risk of picking wrong or without the risk of failing something because you didn't click the right things or you didn't figure out the right things, if you don't mind a casual experience like that with the occasional stealthy demon exercise minigame, then I think you'll like this one. For $2, again, typically it's on sale for like 80-90% off, and I only picked this up for me at the $2 mark. Totally worth $2. Absolutely totally worth $2. $20, it depends on who you ask. Maybe back then in 2014 it would have been worth $20. Nowadays, yeah, the graphics kind of hold up. What frustrated me the most about this game was the jankiness of the controls. The game has like partial mouse support. There were times where I could use my mouse to interact with various menus and things, and there were other times where my mouse wasn't even supported at all. Like if I hit tab and open up my inventory, not inventory, but more like an encyclopedia of all the clues I found, I can't use my mouse in that menu at all, which is weird. On the main menu, when I'm trying to set my options, I have to use the keyboard sometimes. and other times I'm able to use the mouse. So it's like, it seems like the mouse works when it wants to in this game. And there's also a couple of mini games that I didn't like where when you first died and you're trying to put your soul back into your body, trying to control my body parts to like to match up the body with the ghost form, that was frustrating. So like the controls are a bit janky. The sensitivity by default was way too high. I had to turn that down a bit. So my only real issue with the game so far is the controls. For 90% of it, when you're in third-person view, walking around, that's typically not an issue. Once I had my sensitivity down, it was not an issue, but there were some issues with, like, my mouse isn't responding in this menu, that's annoying, or, you know, I'm trying to get something done and I can't because I can't move this limb where I need to, I'm sure that was just an isolated experience, but still. Do I recommend this game? Yes. Murdered Soul Suspect, when it's on sale for 90% off, 80% off, it's a no-brainer. It's a very casual-esque kind of seek and find with a detective theme. I'm actually interested in finding out what happens to this guy. Despite the fact that he's this, you know, detective with a very crummy past, you know, typical, it's very cliche at this point, but despite that, I still am interested in finding out what happens to him. So yeah, go check this one out. If you guys haven't already subscribed to me on Twitch and YouTube, that way you can stay up to date with any new content I plan to publish. This is Vince, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.